Hi there, I just thought I'd do a quick video. I was reading the news this morning when I was getting ready to go to work, having a cuppa at the table. And we are being absolutely played by our government. Not just the current Labour government, the Tory governments beforehand, they're all the same. They might say they're different, but they're not. They're all the same. They all sing from the same sheet, it's... One might say they're working class, one might say they're for the upper class, whatever, but they're all out to shaft us. So anyway, this morning I was reading how in the summer coming up, 2025, that instead of the gas prices going down as they usually do, they look set to increase again. So there's going to be no respite for us. Usually we get a little bit cheaper prices in the summer, when you don't need to turn your central heating on. And then obviously they put the prices back up in the winter time. Not this year. That's not what's coming now. It's just more price rises, price rises, price rises. So the reasoning that it was saying in the article today was, again, the big bad bogeyman from the east, Vladimir Putin. It's all his fault. What are your thoughts on the Ukraine-Russia war? That's totally irrelevant, in my opinion, towards what we are paying for our gas and electricity. It's more to do with the fact that they've shut down all of the coal power stations. They've not invested enough in alternative sources, like nuclear power stations, although they've got one, is Hinkley Point C, that's already about 10 years too late, and we're having our eyes ripped out over that by EDF, the French company, But while they're blaming Vladimir Putin and the gas pipes coming from Russia not being there to deliver gas anymore, like I say, they don't mention anything about the fact that we're being forced onto electricity left, right and centre, whether that is electric cars, electric central heating, electric cooking, electric everything, Like I say, we're all being forced on it, and then we haven't got the capacity for the generation. So for those that aren't familiar, a lot of our electricity generation comes from burning natural gas. Yes, we have things like solar farms and wind farms, and we've got a few nuclear power stations, although I believe they're all coming at the end of their lives. A few things like biomass burning and so on. Chopping down trees and burning them, basically. But like I say, a lot of it comes from burning gas, and they're running out of gas. They've not got enough stored. So, like I say, the only way they get around it is by bumping the prices up. They call it energy efficiency. I call it rationing by cost, by price. Us poorer people, where we don't have 2 pennies to rub together, we can barely afford to put the central heating on as it is. Without worried about the higher prices, we're having to turn the heating off when we should have it on. Even worse for pensioners, they've paid into the system all their lives. They get a pittance per month as their state pension. And then the little bit of assistance that they did get to keep their houses warm in the winter, they've snatched it off them, blaming this £20 billion black hole. I think they've recovered this £20 billion about 3 times over, but it's an excuse that they've got, so they'll run with it. So what does this mean for us for long term? Well, like I say, I think going forward, especially over the next sort of 5 years or so, there's going to be power cuts left, right and centre, all through the winter times. In the summertime, hopefully it'll not be too bad. Hopefully solar will generate, and hopefully there'll be enough wind generation that'll keep us going, fingers crossed. But like I say, in the winter times, when there isn't the sun to give us the solar generation, and there isn't the wind, or if the wind is too strong as well, they shut the turbines down, so it leaves us massively short for the electricity that we need. Now, currently we import a lot, but if anything was to happen to the cables that we use to import the electricity, we've seen it happening with the data cables in the Baltic Sea, where they're dragging anchors by accident, of course, not on purpose, over the cables. They're severing cables, so if they do that with the electricity supply cables, we're buggered. It's power cuts, the lights are going out. So what can we do as preppers to try and alleviate some of that risk, or mitigate that risk, and try and insulate ourselves as well as possible? In a nutshell, you need to be looking at alternative sources of light, alternative sources of electricity, and alternative sources of heat. Hopefully they'll just be short-term power outages, only ranging for a few hours or so. And if you can afford it, I would strongly suggest you get some sort of solar power station, whether that's the EcoFlow, Alpicool, Bluetti, or whatever. You know, they're all the same sort of thing. They've got a storage battery inside of it, and when you turn them on, you can either have mains power from the battery, or you can have 12-volt power coming from it, either AC power or DC power. Obviously, these are quite expensive. They range from around about the £100 mark right up to thousands of pounds. And I appreciate everyone can't always afford these. You know, we have one, but we had to cut back massively to save up to get it. I think when we bought ours, it was about £800. And like I say, for ordinary working class people, that is a big expense. We had to save up a long time for that. In fact, the one that we were saving up for, they stopped making it, and we ended up getting the newer model. It took us that long to save for it. You know, it's not like it just took us a couple of weeks or whatever. It was well over a year that we were saving for it. So, like I say, if you can't afford that, then there are alternatives. You can get the regular mobile phone power banks. These range from literally from £2 or £3 upwards. And also, to use with your mobile phone power bank, we have a USB powered table lamp. It's an LED table lamp. Like I say, it's powered by USB. You can plug it into a power bank. And I tested this with one of the cheap power banks from the Poundland here in the UK, although the power bank wasn't a pound. It's a bit of a misleading name on the shop, but that's another argument. So yeah, anyway, with this lamp and the power bank, it was a good couple of hours, you know, and hopefully that would be enough to see you past the time when the lights are out, you know, so you've got a little bit of illumination. If you haven't got that, you can also use things like candles, tea light candles. They are relatively cheap. If you light a tea light candle and drop it into a glass, either a drinking glass or like an empty jam jar or something like that, you can use that, and that will emit some light, and it will also offer some sort of protections in case it gets knocked over. The flame isn't going to go straight onto the carpet or the sofa or whatever, you know. Hopefully it'll stay within the glass. The good thing with candles, if the power outage is in winter, it will give off a little bit of heat as well. One candle doesn't give off a lot, but if you've got sort of half a dozen or so candles dotted around the room, provided you've got the door shut and you are containing yourself into that one room, it might not raise the temperature, but it should help at least maintain the temperature and stop it getting any colder. And moving on to the next point, alternative heat. Depending on your situation again, you can go all out. You can get a wood burner. I know we have one, but it cost us a lot of money. We got ours put in around about 10 years ago, and even then it cost us £2,500. So I imagine the prices have probably doubled now at least. If you're not able to get a wood burner, which many people aren't, even if they can afford them, their homes aren't suitable for them, whether that is a flat, a new build, an apartment, whatever, you can't fit a wood burner in there for whatever reason, you can get one of the bottled gas heaters, commonly known as colour gas heaters. Again, we have one of them in our home. I've always had one since I was a child with my parents growing up. Laura wasn't too keen, but she's it's grown on her a little bit. And the dogs absolutely love the colour gas fire when it's on. To buy them new, they were about £100, and then to get the gas bottle, if you don't already have a gas bottle, you pay a deposit, but it's a non-refundable deposit. So the first time you get a gas bottle and you pay your deposit and you get it complete full of gas, it'll cost you around about £150 or so. And then every time you get the gas bottle exchanged, your empty bottle for a full bottle, a like-for-like one, then it's between £60 and £70 depending on where you go. We get ours from Morrison's petrol stations, but they are quite expensive, like I say. They are certainly a lot more expensive than they used to be. Even that, in total, £250 outlay up front is a lot of money for some people. You can get the small portable butane camping heaters on eBay, Amazon and the like. They are around about £25 to £30. You normally get a couple of the little gas bottles with them as well, so hopefully that should be enough just to see you through. The gas bottles, if you buy them in bulk, you can get them for around about £1.20, £1.30 per bottle. But like I say, you usually have to buy them in bulk of about 30 or 40 bottles, again on Amazon and eBay. The gas bottles, they are the type that also you use with the camping stoves, the cassette stove. Again, you just put the cartridge in, you press the lever down, turn the gas on, and you've got an instant gas fire. You can use that obviously to boil water, cook food and stuff. I would strongly recommend you getting one. Even if you don't need it this winter, you know, they're handy to have if the power goes out in the summer because everyone's got their aircon on and you want to make whatever, your evening meal or whatever, at least it gives you a hob that you can use. And also, while you're making yourself a hot drink during the winter with your gas-powered hob and you've got the heater on in the corner, again, the heat coming from the hob, it will help raise the temperature that little bit extra. Just make sure that you have a carbon monoxide alarm and you also have some ventilation in the room that you're sitting in. I know it might sound counterintuitive, but if you just open a window, even just a tiny little bit, just to let some air flow through, the room will increase in temperature just as soon as you turn the fire off and as soon as you turn the cooker off, shut the window again, you know, and the heat will stay trapped in. But like I say, make sure that if you're using anything with an open flame, you have adequate ventilation and a carbon monoxide alarm. But yeah, guys, like I say, going back to the original part of we're being played, you know, we really are. I genuinely think hard times are coming for us in terms of power cuts and so on. I think now is the time to start. If you haven't already, you need to start looking for alternative electricity sources, whether that's just for lights or if you want to power fridge freezers, charge mobile phones, whatever, you know, if you want to have your TV on in a power cut, you know, you need to start looking now because it's only going to get worse. And likewise for alternative heating and cooking methods, now is the time to be looking, especially for the camping stuff. If you're looking for camping stuff now in the middle of winter, you'd probably get it cheaper. And if you're looking for heaters, I would look for those in the summertime. Again, people forget that winter happens every year, so they'll buy stuff to keep them warm during the winter. The summer will come and they'll sell them because it's cluttering up their house. And that is your time to get the bargain. That is how I got my colour gas heater. I got the heater plus a full gas bottle with it. I paid £20 for it. And on the flip side of that, in the middle of winter, I was able to pick up a virtually brand new air conditioning unit, one of the freestanding ones where you put the hose out the window. Again, I got that for £60. It was almost immaculate when I got it. It boxed and everything, you know. So, but yeah, don't just sit on your hands. Don't do nothing. You need to be taking action now. Otherwise, it's going to be a very bleak future. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye for now.